I was filming something today for school. I've got to do a project, and I thought, whilst the camera's in a nice position, I think this is quite cool, I thought I'd film a review on Into the Dalek. I thought it was a wonderful episode. It was amazing. It brought back lots of classic Doctor Who feelings. It felt properly mysterious and properly science fiction, all those elements that the classic series had, but also managed to meld with new Doctor Who's sort of comedic element and the sort of dramatic, emotional sense that modern Doctor Who sort of brings. And also, it was a great story for Peter Capaldi. There'll probably be spoilers, so watch out. So I thought I'd just start off with how I think about Peter Capaldi. I think he's outstanding as the Doctor. He is just marvellous the way he brings the gravitas of the Doctor's age and the wisdom that the Doctor has to the forefront, and has all these rules. You can... Matt always... The 11th Doctor always talked about rules that he had, but they broke them. It never seemed correct. But the 12th Doctor seems to have... the 13th of 14th... seems to have lots of really standards to him and a tight, proper character that he hasn't bounced out of as of yet. I know he's only been in 2 episodes, but even within Matt Smith's era, he was bouncing between these sort of different characters. And I loved it. It was a brilliant Doctor, but I just like this Peter Capaldi because he's just something new for Doctor Who. I like that he's a lot more ruthless in his actions. Matt Smith, David Tennant, Peter Davison, those sort of young Doctors, when someone would arrive on their ship and ask to be taken back, no questions, they'd take him back. But Peter Capaldi, he wanted a please, which I love. And whilst it was a funny moment, it was brilliant for his Doctor. It was a defining sort of, not darkness, but more mature approach that Peter Capaldi's taking. It was a great standout moment for that, but also it was a great moment because it's a message for children, like underlying that they should just say please, because not many people say please nowadays, and it's really annoying. And onto the Daleks, well, they were a lot more evil. Had great empathy and sadness towards Rusty because he wasn't the Dalek that you thought. You know, you think Dalek's destruction and all that, but this Dalek seemed in pain. He wanted to help, and he was confused, and because of the whole Asylum of the Daleks thing, he didn't even know who the Doctor was, so he didn't know that he was his enemy. So it was quite an interesting concept running into the episode that you've got this Dalek that isn't a Dalek. The Ironsides were still ruthless killing machines, but at the beginning of this episode you had Rusty being a Dalek that didn't know what he was. But then, of course, when the Doctor fixes him, he becomes what we see as a Dalek. And that moment when he transfers over to becoming a ruthless, evil, disgusting abomination of a Dalek was chilling. The fact that the Doctor was inside the Dalek, not on the outside that he could have been shot dead, but just the fact that he was within this creature that had become the ruthless killing machine the Doctor fears and hates. It was really chilling, and there was just something really... I can't even describe the way it was done. And then, of course, when the Dalek sees within the Doctor's soul and sees that he is this abomination, as is the Daleks, and the fact that it's seeing beauty, it understands what the world is, but it wants to take the Doctor's soldier insight and kill all the other Daleks. It was great. It's something that I feel like it's never been in a platform on any media that a Dalek turns not good. No, being within the Dalek and all that. The entire episode felt so unique for Doctor Who. It's what I wish Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS was. It just didn't change anything about how we perceived the TARDIS. We were still like, oh, it's big on the inside, oh, that room, oh, wow. It didn't change our views or anything on the TARDIS, which is what Journey Inside into anything should have been. And that's what Into the Dalek really brought. It brought back the Daleks to being terrifying. Because, I mean, for the past 3 episodes, barring Deep Breath, there have been these side platform, just nothing, side characters that sort of glittered around for a bit, said exterminate and disappeared. And there was nothing menacing or truly terrifying. And that really annoyed me within the Day of the Doctor, because they're supposed to be these enemies destroying the Doctor's home planet, and I was sort of like, it's the Daleks, okay, continue. I found Clara to be a little bit better. She was actually a lot more interesting in Deep Breath, although her attitude towards the newly regenerated Doctor did confuse me, as she'd seen all the Doctors before. Why would she be so against the Doctor changing? It didn't make too much sense. But I felt in this episode her character was a bit up and down. During the school setting she was great, there was a lot more character to her, but when she was with the Doctor inside the Dalek, she was doing the usual companion-y questions. What is this? Who's that? Where? And it felt a bit dated. It definitely was an improvement on Series B though, and Jenna Coleman was brilliant. The humour in the episode was outstanding. The subtlety and just smoothness of the way all Capaldi's humour lines erupt from him is great. I think he's an outstanding Doctor. I've already said this a million times, but he just is just perfect. I can't remember off the top of my head the writer of the story, but he has done an amazing job shaking your hand in the air, because it's a compelling story that mixed all the important aspects of Doctor Who into one story and didn't feel quite rushed. We had an original concept, we had the ongoing Clara at school thing, we had the Doctor still learning about who he truly is, and we also had Missy just slipped in nice and quick, which I think would have been a lot cooler in Deep Breath, because it was a bit of a look, important plot point, doesn't need to really be this expressive, we don't know what's going on, but within this story, the balance of this ongoing story arc was a lot better, having it just slip in when a character died. And it was good. It was a brilliant episode. Directing, once again, outstanding. I think it's the same director from Deep Breath as well. Doctor Who seems so filmic and amazing, and especially Deep Breath, I saw it on the big screen with Doctor Who World Tour, that this episode still felt like that blockbuster, massive scale, but it was the usual Doctor Who small TV budget, and it was great. I loved it. And visual effects, once again, I don't know what's happened between Series 5, which was amazing, Series 6 for some reason slipped down, but Series 7 onwards, the visual effects are amazing. They're beyond mind-blowing, like that opening shot with the Dalek Crucible and the little escape ship thing. That was just stunning. I do admit it did slip when we had the remote control Daleks sitting all together. I mean, if it was like 4 of them, it might have gotten away with it, but having a room full of remote control Daleks wasn't the best idea. But overall, I thought the episode was beautiful. I thought all the elements came together outstandingly. I loved all the little classic Doctor Who sort of things. I mean, there was a little bit of classic Doctor Who music when they're like climbing up the side of the Dalek. I don't know if that was just me, but it was really sick. As well as that weird, when they went through the Dalek eye stalk, just felt so good. But yes, Into the Dalek, I admit, will be probably the best Dalek story since Dalek from 2005. It brought the Daleks back to be what I think are terrifying. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you understand what this room is by now, because I think I've uploaded this, and if I haven't, well, you should watch it, because, there, watch it. Click on Sherlock's dead face. You know you want to. Anyway, to catch you in another video.